Hello, this is Keith Haggerty, and this is my Module 3, Social Media Engagement, focusing on influencers. For my influencers, I chose Greg Meyer and Heather Champ. While very different in their overall attitude and approach, both are avid posters and actively involved with their social media communities. The reason behind my choice of these two individuals was not only for their prolific and attentive dedication, as seen through their steady daily stream of posts, but also for the personal, humanized attention they seem to bring to their community engagement, not to mention the overall positive mood and energy they try to convey to their audience throughout. Influencer number one is Heather Champ. She lives by the motto of never leaving home without a camera or three, as her endless colorful galleries on Instagram can attest. Champ led the community team at Flickr for 5 years before leaving in 2011 to found her own online community consultancy firm, working with companies such as Etsy, Tumblr, Lido, and Snapfish. Based in San Francisco, she is the co-founder of JPEG Magazine and creator of the At Mirror project, boasting an eclectic resume with a focus on web and graphic design. Her primary social media channels are Twitter, Instagram, and blogging, with her overall message centered on the offbeat yet informative world of visual elements, such as posting about various photographic issues or some of her latest inspired snapshots. Here, for instance, is a posting she did of a yarn festival from a park in San Francisco demonstrating her interests in brand style. This post, for example, provided a way for her to get her audience involved, piquing their interest to inquire even further. Monitoring her activity, it appears that the majority of her social media efforts are focused within her three primary channels, Twitter, Instagram, and blogging, with each playing a complementary role to the next. For instance, she may link to her latest blog via promoted Twitter post, or pepper a particularly active Twitter day with a series of Instagram links to her latest project. If I were trying to engage her, I would try to sync my intended message with her sense of style and offbeat yet authoritative and ambitious philosophy of life and career. Taking a casual approach with this particular influence would seem to be the best course of action, as her numerous posts quickly show a pattern of a person who, while seemingly easygoing and laid back, is also one who speaks her mind and is not about to shy away from letting her opinion be known, especially if something displeases her. Therefore, I would be as transparent as possible with my approach, perhaps commenting on one of her Instagram postings or inquiring for some more information on a particular subject matter, perhaps a new side angle I could bring to the table. Above all, no matter what platform is used, I believe it would be wise to begin any conversation with this influencer by first laying the foundation of familiarity and showing interest, genuine interest, in her content quite a bit before asking for any favors or being blatantly self-promotional. With that said, this influencer also has a tendency to drift off into her own personal tangents and often gets sidetracked easily, so to help her be more effective within her own community, I would perhaps try to engage her with questions on her thoughts or recommendations of various topics in her industry, something she's really passionate about, such as gaining advice from her on some of the pros and cons of the popular graphic design software packages available today, or maybe what she prefers or would like to see on the horizon, and most importantly, why. Basically, any effort to help keep her focus on her community and keep her steady on track. My second influencer is Greg Meyer. Meyer is a self-described information maven, which also happens to be the name of his self-promoted blog. In addition to his role as community manager for his company Pro.com, where he serves as leader of their customer success team, Meyer is also a small business owner, programmer, and consultant of consumer-centered design and marketing service. He also works with major telecommunications and web-based clients such as BlackBerry, Expedia, and T-Mobile. Meyer's focus tends to center on the arenas of communication, marketing, and technology, offering daily insight into the latest trends and discussions of the three fields through content-rich original postings via his blogs, with mostly aggregated links to his own musings, as well as direct connections to others' contents throughout his Twitter feed and Facebook postings, and not to mention his LinkedIn postings. Meyer's approach tends to be a light, enthusiastic style, but also highly focused and disciplined, consistently staying on track with whatever his latest source of content is. Meyer's primary social media channels are his blog, above all else, Twitter, and to a lesser degree LinkedIn and Facebook, with the blog and Twitter accounting for a majority of his efforts. Therefore, any attempt to create any kind of significant dialogue with him would most certainly have to start there. My approach, based on Meyer's social media habits, I would first try to engage him in conversation by asking him questions related to one of his multitude of blog postings. His commitment to his blog and sharing tidbits of advice with his community is most evident there above all else, clearly a source of pride for him, so I would try to immediately tap into his obvious affinity for the platform, perhaps by offering some of my own experiences via a blog comment about a particular subject matter he's writing about, or maybe on Twitter, perhaps providing him with additional sources of information to something he posted, since I've noticed that many of his retweets are almost always based on some form of advice for those in the field or some form of professional connection. Unlike my first influencer, Heather Champ, Meyer tends to maintain a more professional persona and doesn't offer much in the way of personalization, so I would try to keep it straight and to the point, with no time for personal side stories or off-the-cuff banter. Based on his prolific, ongoing involvement with his community, I'd be hard-pressed to find much fault in his current community engagement initiatives. However, I suppose one of the areas Meyer could be helped to spur his community even further would be through his own personal case history. One that I've noticed is kind of lacking with him. For instance, he is very good at providing timely and detailed advice about the field of marketing and latest developments. However, it could behoove him to include more first-hand accounts from his current and previous work experiences directly. In this way, I would try to elicit these stories simply by asking about them, in particular asking about his own personal tales of success and failure, most likely via his blog, a platform he seems most adept and comfortable with. In addition, I believe the blog format is also far more conducive and provides far more elbow room and freedom for him to develop a more personal narrative to provide information than the shortened character limitations of Twitter alone.